Hello world of YouTube and welcome to another list video. One that I'm making instead of a conversation to talk about E3 because I had a conversation I really wanted to make this month that posted yesterday, and I wanted to kind of just reel it in a little bit. I feel like E3, unlike last year, didn't have as many focal talking points across developers as last year did, even though Nintendo was here and they came to fucking play. And Sony wasn't there, which was weird, because I didn't think Nintendo was going to be there, but I'm glad that they were, because they gave me a lot more to talk about than most of the other developers. Not that they didn't, though, and I'm going to use this section before we get into the list to showcase, to talk about other shit that I just didn't want to put on my list that I felt like was worth talking about for one reason or another. What I thought was interesting was that there was a lack of three things across E3. Bethesda didn't flesh out their new IP anymore. They just had that teaser last year. They didn't do shit this year with it. Same with the new Elder Scrolls. They just are busy running themselves into the fucking ground. They have one thing that I'm excited for that I'll talk about in the list, but man, their showcase this year was terrible. The additions they're trying to make to Fallout 76 are bad. They sound terrible. They sound really, really bad. And I think it's weird that they're doubling down on talking about other Elder Scrolls things that aren't the new one, like Blades, also on Switch, because the Switch is a money-making machine, and they think that putting it on there is going to work for them. I don't think it will, but maybe that's just me. We also got 2000s remakes on the horizon. We in a new age, people. The 90s are out and the 2000s are in, because we got Battle for Bikini Bottom and Destroy All Humans getting remakes, which, Destroy All Humans, that's neat. Game I've never played, but I know some people that really love it, and I think that that's neat, that that's getting a remake, and it's gonna look all nice and pretty. I'm pretty stoked for that. We also got Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to America. Fucking finally. But it's gonna be on Windows and Xbox One, god damn it.
Since filming this, I have found out that it is coming to Sony, and I think the Switch, with not confirmed dates for those.
Microsoft also had a weird conference, I feel like, because they announced a new Gears. Okay, I mean, I didn't think that was going to happen, but whatever. And that Gears Pop game that I thought was really interesting is on iOS, which I also think is probably a smarter move than to make it a full-fledged console release, and it looks fun. They also announced a new console, though, which is fucking weird. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that we are in an age where the two that aren't Nintendo are probably wanting to make a new console, but I just don't think it's time. I really don't think it's time. I know that these consoles have been out for a while, and I'm sure that designing for them is either becoming tedious or it's hard to push boundaries on the hardware, but I think that they're good. I think that they still serve their purpose fine. And I think that's why, one, Sony was absent, and I know that they're working on a new console, but I don't know. And I think that because Microsoft announced a lot of shit for the Xbox One and then teased this new console with a new Halo game, that it just didn't work for me. It didn't have an impact to me. I didn't care. One, because as I said in my Games That Don't Need Sequels video, I'm kind of done with Halo, but also, you didn't say much else. You just said, hey, we got a new console and it's launching with Halo. Big whoop. The last couple of things I wanted to talk about before we get into the list proper, I think it's cool that we're getting an Enter the Gungeon cabinet from Devolver Digital. That looks really neat, and I think that it's cool that they're bringing that kind of game into an arcade setting and making it co-op. That looks really fucking cool. I'm into that shit. We also have a brand new Animal Crossing game and a new Luigi's Mansion game. Two game franchises that I've only ever played the first ones of. We had to play Dark Moon even though I have a 3DS. Don't know why. But I do like the hotel setting of this new one. I think that it looks really, really fun. And I think it'll open up a lot of possibilities for that game itself. And Animal Crossing, I have always loved the idea of. I've just only ever played the first one. Someday I'll probably play the rest, but I just haven't yet, even though I have a 3DS, and New Leaf is seemingly the best one of the bunch. But I'm excited both of those franchises are getting new entries. Please stop blue-balling me, Nintendo, on Metroid Prime 4. I'm very excited for that game, and I'd like some news on it. Please? And the last thing I wanted to talk about that was really awesome is that Panzer Dragoon is getting a remake. Panzer Dragoon is a franchise that over the last year or so I've become really fascinated by. I like, as you saw in my video where I talked about games that need sequels, I've fallen in love with looking into franchises that never really got a whole lot of input into them, and Panzer Dragoon is such a rare franchise. Most of the games are hard to come by, and they're all on a console. Most of them are for a console that didn't really do well. And I'm glad that Sega's getting the chance to remake the first game in that franchise, and I hope that its success leads to them remaking the rest of the franchise. You know, I personally have been looking for the only one that I could conceivably get, the one for the Xbox, Orta, but I've even had problems finding that in the wild. So, yeah, maybe someday I'll find it, but I'm glad that it's getting a remake, and I think that it's neat that Sega's getting the chance to work on an IP of theirs that's been dormant for a long fucking time. But with the scattered discussion out of the way, let's get into the 11 things that I'm the most excited for that were announced at E3 2019. First off, and this is in no particular order, but first off, Banjo was announced for Smash. That's pretty cool. So were Dragon Quest heroes, but yeah, Banjo kind of overshadowed that whole thing and made solidified Nintendo's victory in E3 this year, amongst a handful of other things. But yeah, Banjo and Smash is neat. Now, I didn't grow up playing Banjo-Kazooie. I think I've talked about that a handful of times on the channel. The only time I've ever actually played it was in a failed attempt at a Let's Play of it with Shake years ago, and I played a handful of it then, and we never finished it. But that's a game that shaped a lot of the internet's childhood and his childhood as well. And speaking of him, I actually haven't talked to him since Banjo was announced. So let me give him a ring, see how he's taking it. I bet he's excited.
Yes! Oh my god! I can't believe it! Oh my god, I can't believe it! Oh, Banjo! Oh, he's in the game! He's in the game! Oh, he made it! He made it! Yes! Yes! Yes!
I was right. He's very excited. He's beyond excited. That guy is excited for him some Banjo and Smash, and I couldn't be happier for him and the rest of the internet that was also hyped. And that announcement alone kind of, again, solidified Nintendo's victory in E3 this year, which makes, I think, at some point, Banjo kind of fits the whole idea of Smash, even in its beginnings, because it was an N64 property about the best of Nintendo, and he was a part of that. He was an integral part of the N64 success in the 3D platformer genre, you know. And again, while he didn't shape my childhood, I do like the game, what I've played of it, and I think that it makes sense. And I'm glad that it's finally happening, and it solidifies a statement that I made in my games that don't need sequels vid, and that we're at peak Smash. They're not going to get any better than Banjo. They have another announcement to make, and I don't know who the fuck they're going to tap that's going to be better than fucking Banjo-Kazooie.
But I hope to God it's Geno.
And I'm also hoping that this means that rare games are also going to be on the probably going to happen N64 Classic, because that would be dope. But also, moving on from that, Cyberpunk 2077. It's a game that I think I talked about in passing in last year's conversation, but I like the world that they showed this year. It looks like a fun place to be. I like the whole cyberpunk aesthetic, so I'm excited to actually explore the world that this game has. And they got Keanu Reeves, which is neat. It is a big year for Keanu, it seems, and I like Keanu Reeves, so I'm excited to see him succeed, and I want to play this game partially just so I can interact with Keanu Reeves. I think that'll be fun. I know I talked about it last year because it was teased, but they brought out more Doom Eternal. The movement looks awesome. It looks faster paced than Doom for the PS4 did. Doom 1 for the PS4. And I think the graphics still look amazing. I think it looks like a great boatload of fun with an assload of carnage. I'm excited for this game. I'm hyped for it. And I'm out of all the games that I can conceivably play, this is one of the ones that's high up there. A lot of the games that were announced that are on this list, I either can't play because I don't own a Switch, or are very far off and probably won't happen for a while. They'll have time to fuck it up, essentially is what I'm saying. Doom Eternal looks like a full package already, and I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. Speaking of games I can't play, they announced the Breath of the Wild sequel. I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild. That game was amazing. I played a nice meaty chunk of it. It looks amazing. And I'm hyped to see the sequel. I'm hyped for fans to get their chance to play the sequel. And I'm hyped to play the sequel in like 3 years when I'll finally get a fucking Switch. Speaking of Zelda, though, Link's Awakening remake looks gorgeous. Looks so cute. I want to grab that Link and just squeeze his little cheeks. Looks like a good little time. I like Link's Awakening. I think it's a great Zelda game. I love the visuals in it. I love the idea of it, and I think looks like a good time. And that remake, boy, it looks gorgeous. A game that I can play when it comes out, and that probably will fuck up because it's a Star Wars game, and that's not doing too well now. Fallen Order looks like a great time. I loved the combat. I liked the way it looked. I loved the use of the Force in that. I like that they borrowed some of the ideas that were introduced on like the Force Awakens, with like stopping lasers, and the combat just looked really, really nicely put together. The demo looked like a lot of fun. The demo they showcased made the game look a lot of fun. It fulfilled its purpose, and I'm excited for that game. Mostly because it's a single-player Star Wars game, and I'm really hoping it'll fuck that up. Another game I can't play when it comes out, but boy, does it look good. Astral Chain, the newest Clover Studio. I know that's not their name anymore, but Clover Studio game. Platinum, that's their name. Boy, I love the aesthetic of that. I like the visuals. I love the aesthetic of it. It looks really nice and anime in the best way possible. And I've as you've seen with the Beautiful Joe and the Bayonetta, I like this company, and I think that they make some cool-looking games, and this is just another one of those. Finally, to close this off, yeah, baby, Psychonauts 2. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so trippy. It looks so weird. I love first Psychonauts. Phenomenal game. I adore Psychonauts 1, so I'm very excited to dip back into that world, and I don't think it looks shitty at all. At all. I think the visuals, the updated versions of the graphics from the first game look amazing. I'm excited to hear the jokes and the writing, because the guys writing it are some of the best in recent years in gaming. I mean, Tim Schafer's a god. You know, I played Brutal Legend. I've talked about Psychonauts maybe on the channel. I had to have at some point. And even his earlier shit that I haven't played, I know is very well revered. So I know that he's good at what he does. I don't even fucking know. You don't even know. I didn't back it. Shake backed it. Shake loves Psychonauts more than me. Like, I love Psychonauts, but he is enamored with that game. And I know he is also incredibly... I had to call him again, but I already know we've talked about Psychonauts 2. We know how we feel about that. You know, great time. So excited. So excited. So good. Shook. That's my list. That's my games I'm hyped for that were showcased. Things that were showcased at E3. Favorite things showcased at E3 2019. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for support on here and on Patreon. I've been Viral Rag. You guys have videos, lives, and situations, and I'll see you another day.